Patience, skill, anatomy, and expression. These lay out the groundworks for an excellent tattoo. But as an artist with no experience in tattooing anyone, I wouldn't take my word for it. So instead, we're going to talk to an old friend of mine. My name is Bradley Rogers, and when I'm not working on film, I find the time to draw. While art has been a part of me my entire life, nothing has fascinated me more than the art of tattoo. And tattooing has been around for a very long time. Many sources claim that the practice has been around since the Neolithic period. Whether they were used for ritualistic practice, status, or healing, many different cultures have preserved the tradition for thousands of years. Victorian-era tattoos were a paradoxical trend in themselves, seen as both savage and fashionable, spreading from sailors and convicts to the aristocracy. In the United States, after World War II, tattoos became fairly mainstream, as servicemen would get them for their camaraderie. As time went on, tattoos have become somewhat of a trend and eventually normalized in professional environments, and whether this is seen as a good or bad thing is up to debate. Today I'll be meeting with Derek Bunkley, a tattoo artist based in Kingsland, Georgia, who currently owns the oldest and top-rated shop in the county. I'll be asking him about his journey as a tattoo artist, all the while he demonstrates his craft.
Well, when I was younger, I liked to draw. And then when I was 18, I was working at Applebee's over in Jacksonville. And this kid come in and he had a tattoo, and I thought it was really freaking cool. And I was like, I think I want me one of them tattoos. So I get off work and I go down the street to the tattoo shop. And I'm sitting there, standing there for like 20, 30 minutes. Nobody speaks to me. Then finally, some little short guy with a bad attitude comes out. He's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Well, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. Don't know anything about them. What's cool? What's not cool?" And he's like, "Look at the walls. Tell me when you're ready." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." So I left. And then forgot the idea of having a tattoo. And then when I was 22, I got in a motorcycle wreck. Somebody pulled out in front of me. And crushed an inch and a half of bone out of my femur and 2 inches out of my tibia and fibia. I couldn't walk for a year and a half. And finally, after about 8, 9 months, I got on the point where I could get on crutches and hobble around. And my grandmother looks at me one day and is like, "You want to go to Jacksonville?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." Considering I ain't been nowhere, but like doctor appointments and surgeries for 9 months. Let's go. And we get over to Jacksonville, and there's this little newspaper magazine place. And I start walking through there, and I see a tattoo magazine. So I pick it up and start thinking to myself about how that guy treated me. And doctors have told me you're never going to walk right. You're always going to have a limp. You're going to have to live on disability. There's nothing you're going to pretty much be able to do, because I'd had nerve damage through the whole right side of my body. And I was like, so I pick up this tattoo magazine and start thinking to myself, well, they got a magazine for this. People make money. And if this is in the magazine, this is the best of the best. So I spent my last $5. I bought that magazine, and I said, well, if this is the best of the best, I'm smarter than this. So I bought that magazine with like my last $5 I had to my name, and I took it to the house, and I started drawing again. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna learn how to tattoo." And they was like, "Well, you don't have a tattoo. You can't do that." And I was like, "I can do anything. I'm smarter than all you people with your feet tied together. Watch what I do." And then 25 years later, I got an apprenticeship, busted my ass, worked hard, and 25 years later, here I am tattooing. Worked in Jacksonville and really didn't like Jacksonville. I didn't want my children going to school in Jacksonville. I didn't want them raised in Jacksonville. So I did like a demographic search, and this looked like a good place as any. I like the idea of small town. I like the idea of, knowing your neighbor, knowing people. Everybody tattooed before me, obviously, like stuff like Sailor Jerry and stuff like that. When I started, traditional was everything. I've always just searched and looked and what's cool, what's not cool, who's doing what, how can you be better? Hell. No, I mean, it's one of them things where you can be good at art, but it doesn't mean you're going to be good at tattooing. And I was a kid who drew a lot, and I was a decent draw artist as a kid. But the only thing I think that really saved me was I was mechanically smart, meaning that I could understand how the process of the machine works and then how every skin's different and stuff like that. Right. Because when you're sitting there and you tattoo you, everybody's skin's different. Things I can achieve on different people, and being smart enough to know that, caring about what you do, it's incredible. But for as much as it's incredible, give up the things you love. Give up Saturdays with your kids. Give up, other hobbies. Like I used to love to read. When I started tattooing, I quit reading. Unless I had to do with art or drawing or work, because how is it fair for you to work your ass off to come in, spend this money, and me only halfway give what I should give to somebody?
Right.
So it's like one of those things where all these other things you like video games? Just like video games. Don't play video games. I work. And if you're not willing to do them things, how is it really fair to get into a business where you have to deal with people's lives and forever on them? Don't do it. It's oversaturated. Like everybody and their brother. When I started, you had to make your own needles. When I started, you didn't have the ability to buy everything that you can buy nowadays. And now people are just grabbing equipment, no training, opening up shops. And because customers, don't either know or care to research portfolios and what somebody actually does, they're just getting whatever.
Right.
And these people are just opening up and this is what I do. That's like the most loaded question in the world, dude. For me, there's people who want instant gratification and they know their tattoo's not going to look good every time, or there's people who want like that really strong traditional look that's going to be strong for many, many years. Good tattoos when somebody's smiling when they get done with it. That they're happy, Now, obviously, with that being said, there's the lines have to be clean, shading has to be clean. So you just can't take just because somebody don't know what they're talking about and they're smiling at something that's horrible doesn't make it great. The thing about the coolest thing about tattooing is like how my daughter works with me and how incredible she is. As a dad, that's pretty awesome. Let him sit for a few, we'll get a pic.
Hell yeah.
Walk you around, let Joe check it out.
The biggest thing I learned from my interview with Derek is that regardless of the skill you possess, you can accomplish anything through dedication and mastering what you're good at. I think a lot of people my age, especially in their 20s, feel stuck because they have a job they don't like or feel as if their time is constantly being wasted. Still, it's never too late to make a living at doing what you love. And as an artist, you are never replaceable.